Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Hanging On by a Thread podcast. My name is Silje and this is my space to talk about everything craft, knitting wise, crochet, any kind of fiber craft really that takes my fancy during a week. It's my space to get all the ideas, all the thoughts out of my head and share it with somebody because my family is not interested. You can find me on both Ravelry and on Instagram as Silmoa. And anything that I mention in this podcast episode will be listed with links in the description box below and also on my blog pages, which is byathreadblog.com. This was going so well, didn't it? Well, hi, how are you? It's been a weird one. It's been a weird week and where to begin? Well, I didn't get as much knitting done as I wanted to, mainly because I got distracted with crochet. So I've been hooking away and I'll show you what I've done in a little bit. But first, I bet you're all dying to know what I'm wearing, who I'm wearing, what pattern is that? That's gorgeous! Oh my goodness, there's color work, there's cables, there's fuzzy, toasty yarns. Okay, so this, let's see, I made a note. It's been a while since I knitted this. Am I lying? Possibly. So this is Fossuan Sweater by Inga Semmingsen. Inga Semmingsen. She's a Norwegian knitwear designer based out of Oslo. And yeah, she just came out of the blue like 2019-ish, I want to say, and started publishing these amazing patterns. So at least in Norway, I think most people know who she is now. And the Fossuan Sweater is the first one that I did. It is a top-down sweater with a bit of color work, cables that go into the color work, and you see, it's just, yeah, I'm so pleased with this. It's got a good fit, I think, for me. As you can see, I knit the sleeves shorter just because I like it that way. Obviously you can knit them any length you want, but I want my wrists to be free and I end up pulling it up a bit like that anyways. If I am cold, I can snuggle it down. This is knit out of this golden, beautiful golden color, which is Hillsevåg pelt wool in the red yellow Rødgul. It's their Tinde yarn, so it's the kind of the DK weight one, which DK to worsted, but it's a 2-ply, so it gets a little, yeah, it's extremely light, but it's, yeah, it fills out beautifully. And the pelt wool has this kind of fuzzy halo, so I thought it would be nice to pair it with this, the blue color. You can see it's a hand-dyed yarn. It's they no longer dye. It's actually from Garnsurr. If you remember, they had to shut down, was it? It was before the pandemic, but they had to shut down business because something ridiculous, like if they were going to keep employing being a teaching business for refugees, immigrant workers. Mostly there was like ladies coming in to learn how to get a profession in Norway, coming from other places. And to be that sort of business, they were like making too much money or something, but they weren't making enough to be able to pay everyone a decent salary without the support from the government program or something like that. Please correct me, somebody, if you know. I did not research this before it popped into my head as part of the story. But anyways, this blue is dyed by them on Telespinn Pan, so that's 100% mohair yarn. It's quite thick. Let me see. I think I have that one. I'm gonna find it. So Telespinn Revtent. See, that's a gorgeous blue, and it had these specks of rust and purple, and just, you know, they were dyeing up super nice colors. So I'm really sad that they are no longer dyeing. But I did snag some skeins, and I did manage to knit a few garments, or I have some in my stash still. Like, this is now vintage stash. But anyways, this is Hillsevåg Tinde in the Rødgul colorway with a Telespinn Pan dyed up by Garnsurr, and I think it's Hillsevåg Sol as the charcoal grey. And this was so much fun to knit, and yeah, it has everything I like, and it was on fat needles 4.5, not sure. I usually have to go up millimeter I'm talking about here. I usually have to go up a size or two to get the gauge for most like indie designer patterns, because apparently I am a bit tense when I'm knitting. I mean, come on, the name of the podcast is an indication of why I knit. I enjoy making the fun things, but nice things, but it's also to keep me sane. So I knit a lot. Yeah, that. So this is the Fossuan Sweater. Am I forgetting something I want to say about this? It's very warm though, so I can't really wear it that often. I would almost wear this as an outer layer of, like, if it's 5- outside and you have a woolen underwear on and this one on top, you'll be fine. Like, the pelt wool is so toasty. So I'm just wearing like a vest top under here today, otherwise it would be too hot. And our house is not warm, I tell you. It's a very blustery, grey, dreary day outside, but plus degrees. You can smell the earth now when you go outside, which is such a great feeling. Spring is coming, you guys. Spring is coming to the northern hemisphere. I know in the south, you're starting to feel those autumn winds coming, but you know, I'm ready for summer. So ready. Okay. So what have I been doing this week? As I said, I kind of dropped out my knitting. It didn't happen, really. A little bit. Not so much. Let's see. So, I've written down here, I wanted to talk about the granny. Remember I was working on the bunch of granny squares. I want to configure them into a pullover. So, I'm doing that. And I was really enthusiastic about this, but I ended up giving myself like a kink in the neck, and my forearm is not good. I apparently have no technique when it comes to crochet, and I end up hurting myself. So I had to put it aside, but I managed to get quite far. I've gotten so far as to I need to start doing the hem. Why does that always bother me? The hem, the bottom bit, and the sleeves. I'm trying to think of maybe I can try to do like a set-in sleeve or sleeve cap kind of thing, because this is how it looks. It's got straight and then got that thing going out. So a sleeve cap might work on this, right? A set-in sleeve thing. Maybe I could just work that flat in crochet down to about here and pick up stitches and knit somehow. Or should I start bottom up sleeve? Not sure, so I'm on the thinker with that. I didn't give it a soak yet, but as you can see here, it's starting to look like a jumper and it fits. I have tried it on. It is pretty cropped. I could still, if I wanted to add length, I could add another row of granny squares in the bottom. But I kind of like that square thing going on for, like, I like it being a rectangle. So I'm repeating the shape of the granite square itself by having it being just 9 here and 9 in the back. It's a bit mad, it's a bit 70s, but you know, I think it kind of works. So I've sewn together the 9 squares for front and back. I picked up some crochet stitches up the top here and kind of worked as I thought myself. Kind of a neckline decrease thing. Did the back very much the same but taller, and then I think I just did like 1 or 2 rows of a dip in the back. And I picked up the stitches for a neckline, did a twisted rib neckline, folded over and bound off like so it seams together. It keeps it quite stretchy. It does go nicely over my head, so I'm not too worried about that. I was like, I haven't made a garment in crochet before, so I have no idea about the stretchiness of the fabric. I get the feeling that it's less stretchy than knit would be. So at first I had done these rows in like a single or a half treble, half double, why don't you say a single crochet? I think we've been through this last episode, but anyways, so I chose the taller crochet stitch to maybe have a bit more, it was getting very rigid. But I do like having the firmness on the shoulders. That's why I'm thinking that maybe the sleeve cap could be like a firm bit here and then growing into the softer knitted fabric of the sleeve. And then of course the length of it as it is now, it goes to my stomach basically. As you see, this is the Fossuan Sweater is sort of cropped. It ends exactly on my hip bone. So if I were to just add rib on this now, it would be a very similar length, which I think I will do a couple of rounds of single crochet and then pick up and do a twisted rib hem line. So this is, I was really this was my jam this week. I was feeling this and I was just so disappointed when I was sitting there on, I think it was Tuesday evening, and my neck was like this and just like, I'm just gonna, one more row. So in the end I just forced myself to finish the sides, and then I was like, okay, that's one step, and then you gotta put this aside. for at least a week before working anymore on it. Because it's not worth it if you destroy your own body. Right? So, I don't know. So I think maybe when I'm knitting, I don't look down so much. So when I'm crocheting, I'm like really, I'm slumping my head like this, and I can feel it that this is not good for me. It's not good. So yeah, this is so much fun though. So you will see this again at some point when I am feeling that my neck can take it. Yeah. So this is mostly done in Rauma Finull. The neutral color is Rauma Finull. And then there's an assortment of Finull and Hillsevåg Sol. There's some of that. I think it's just those. And there's some hand-dyed Vilje as well. There's some hand-dyed leftovers in places. I was working really like I wanted everything to be playing together, that the colors should suit each other, but I wanted everything to be different. I wanted it to be a weird looking mismatched, like could have been picked up at a thrift store and made in the 70s kind of thing. That's what I'm going for. So I think that's sort of working. I mean, the finishing is not amazing, but that's because I am doing a lot of firsts here. I have never sewn squares together before. I know. So there's some like what do you do to make it look neat in the corner here where they meet? I mean, that doesn't look amazing. I'm hoping it's gonna floof out a little bit once I wash it, because I have one square that's washed and it's a lot softer and plumper than the rest of the squares. You can see that compared to like the one next to it, which looks all hard and, well, yeah, unwashed. It's crunchy. Well, this is soft and fluffy. So this is exciting. I mean, seriously, I'm enjoying this so much, but I'm on a timeout for this. And I think that's gonna be so cool. And I think it's gonna be great for spring as well. Let's see. Okay. That was my crochet project, which has been what I have been most enjoying working on. Since my neck was hurting, but it had been kind of a shit week as far as personal life is concerned, so I really needed to have something in my hands to keep my brain from going like. But since I was already in that uncomfortable space of like overload of decision making, like I cannot make another decision. It's like, and then trying to decide on what to knit next. Not really feeling any of the current projects that I had, but I did want to knit myself something, or at least something that would be calming but interesting at the same time. And, you know, it had to be just so. So I tried to find a new project to work on, and I did in the end cast it on last night. So I have a new whip, which ended up being a snood or a cowl or whatever you want to call it. It's basically a colorwork tube. That's a provisional cast on, and then you just knit, and then you graft it together, maybe with a twist to make it a bit of a Mobius thing. So in the end I had lots of good suggestions and ideas, and I did have like a Marie Wallen pattern in my library, but of course I had to get something new. I started on the, what's it called? Started this yesterday, so I don't remember the name all the time. The Foula Snood by Donna Smith. Foula by Donna Smith. So this was first published in the Shetland Wool Annual 2018, which I guess is like a publication they do for the Shetland Wool Week. Is that what it's called? Yeah, so it's available to buy as a separate pattern now, which is great because you don't have to then go onto the Shetland Wool Week website and buy the whole journal, even if I would love to do that. It's just £21 plus shipping to Norway is just, it's a little prohibitive a price, I felt. Plus I wanted to knit it now. I did not want to wait like a week or 2 weeks for it to arrive in the mail. So yeah, instead of waiting then I went for a previous year's pattern, because I first was really inspired to knit it was a cowl as well that was in this amazing blue and black, and they had this, yeah, don't remember who made that one. Maybe I can find it and show you, because it's awesome. So if you have a chance to get that publication, that was from in this year's annual, that's what they called, an annual, this year's annual. And I think I added it my Ravelry favorites. So if you want to look closer to it, I have a collection there called Shawls and Scarves, probably. Which I probably should update. Yes, the Radiant Star Cowl by Ella Gordon. And I wanted to knit that. This looks like so much fun to pick out colors for, right? That is pretty cool. And I just thought that sort of like gradient background thing, just, it's kind of with those pops of red and bright color. Yeah, that's what I wanted first, but then I saw this Foula Snood and I thought, well, I really like the pattern. It's like a geometric, it's quite a geometric pattern. It's got like these squares, which I guess you could call flowers, or just, yeah, and then they are encased by these branches of leaves, and there are I think it's like 4 different square motifs. So it looks really simple, but it's actually a 42 row repeat. But it's a 2-color color work, so you don't really you're only ever holding 2 colors, and the design is worked up with 2 colors. I am gonna try something, see if it works. I'm not sure. So as my base color, so you can probably see, I've got a hand-dyed color going, and I thought at the center of each of these squares I would do a solid color in a similar one, so I would kind of get a gradient effect. I haven't knitted it, I haven't knitted enough fabric for it to see if it works yet, but probably by next time I will be able to show you. So I can say, show you the colors I am using for this. Oh, I dropped one on the floor, excuse me. There you are, come back. Okay, so, I don't know if you can see my thinking here. Main base color is this hand-dyed yarn. by Fjord Fibers. She's based out of close to Bergen, I think. And she dyes on, this is her Trollfjord sock, which is a fingering weight yarn. I think it's 80% Norwegian white sheep and 20% nylon, because it's kind of a sock base that Hillsevåg does. I'm pretty sure that this is Hillesvåg's Fjord base that she dyes on. So if you ever wanted to make sure you matches the yarn perfectly, you could just get a neutral or solid from Hillsevåg and then get like one skein of the hand-dyed. Oh, I even have the tag inside so I can say what color it is. It's like a tonal yellow with speckles. So let's see. So yeah. Oops. Fjord Fibers. And this is her Hytteliv colorway. I'm not sure if this is the one that she has in stock always, or if it was one that I got in like a sock club thing. I did sign up for some sort of sock club. But yeah, Hytteliv, which is Cabin Life colorway. It's a really lovely muted yellow. And yeah, yellow, beige, got some greens, got some reds. Very cute. And I paired that with the Rauma Finull in their Sauesvart to be the pattern color, the contrasting color. And I want to switch up the background. Every time there's one of these squares, there's 2 rows where I'm going to shoot in a different background color. And the first one I did now was the darker yellow. So I used this one, which is a yellow I used in my crochet sweater as well. It's a Finull yellow. I'm pretty sure it's like maize yellow, maisgul. Not 100%, I can check that up and make a note of it on screen. So that's what's coming on in the background there on the square here. So that's a solid, and then you have the speckly tonal yarn on each side. And on the next square center, I'm going to shoot in this pale yellow, which is very similar to what I've got going in the... So both of these colors kind of exist in that yellow. You can see that. So I'm hoping to get some sort of gradient effect out of that. I'm thinking that I might need to do 4 rows with the background color to get that fade, but not sure. You can always rip back. When in doubt, or when in dislike, rip it back. That's what I'm saying. Because, yeah. Okay, so it sucks to knit the same thing twice or stitch again, but it's worse to get something you're not happy with. I have some monstrous errors that just didn't work out, laying in a box of shame downstairs, which I have intentions of fixing, but never seems to happen. Maybe I'll take one up and show you next time, because there's a bolero. I really still want the garment, but I need to unravel a full sleeve because I made a mistake. I was like, this was 2016 and I was super pregnant, and or had I think I just had my first kid. I was like, woo! I was so out of it. I was like high on hormones, and just one sleeve is like twice as long as the other, and I managed to wash it and block it before realizing what I had done. And this was like a thick tweedy wool paired with some sort of mohair fluffy fuzziness, and just like, and it's cabled, and unraveling fluffy blocked cables is not something I'm looking forward to, but it's I really want it. It's a gorgeous color. It's like this green. Oh, I'll show you next time. Promise, I'll show you next time. I was talking about this. So the Foula Snood is happening. I am happily knitting away on that one, and yeah, let's see if it turns out. So this is my simple knit that I got going. But before I took me a while to decide, so I think I had to stop crocheting on the project I was feeling the mojo for on like Wednesday, so that leaves me almost all of Thursday with nothing to knit on. So of course I did pick up a project and knit on it because I can't not knit. So I gave the Lillemors Herregenser a little bit more love, which is the sweater I'm knitting for my partner. And it's coming along. I can show you. It's the same as I showed you last time, but maybe there's somebody out there that didn't see the first my comeback episode. So yeah, I'm doing the sleeve. I'm on Sleeve Island on this, and it's pretty good. I think, yeah. So I basically, since the last time I showed it, I've done this much of the sleeve. So this is a very basic 2-color color work, DK weight, Norwegian pattern. This is Sandnes Garn's publication. It is, it's this guy here, the sweater only, not the man, although he's pretty handsome. He would be, wouldn't he? He's a model, right? So, yeah, so it's not a huge deal to say about it. It's a folded down neckline, which I think is quite cool. It's going to be very neat and nice looking. It's got a bit of a raised neck. It's top down, and lots of Norwegian-y, Scandinavian-y stars, patterns and lines, and fairly simple, simple. Well, I think this is the most pattern I've ever managed to knit for him. The last sweater I knit him was completely plain, and I'm having an issue with the sizing. So I think the first sweater I knit him was like a fauna, brown and white fauna sweater in really thin Fable yarn from Drops Garn Studio. It does not look good now, and it's a tent. It's a fucking circus tent, and yeah, no, which was fine. But it was too big for him then when he was bigger, so now he's smaller. He lost a few kilos, and then I knit him another one, which was too small. So I knit him another one, which was fine for a little while, and then now it's a tent on him again. And this is then sweater number 4. No, it's sweater number 5. I'm missing I did knit in one that looks great, but the armholes were not deep enough. So it's one of those, like the classic Marius sweater that is just knit as a tube and then you just stick the arms on, like that. Typical Norwegian sweater construction, you stick the armholes. And I didn't make them deep enough, so they're like up in his like that. It's a very pretty sweater, and he actually really loves it, but it's not comfortable because you got the seam going up in So I have to fix that. And the red one, which is a Brooklyn tweed shawl color one, it's now the one that was too small before. Now it kind of fits, but it's too short. So I think I might do some sweater surgery and lengthen that. I still have the yarn. That was a tangent, wasn't it? Okay, so Lillemors herregenser. There's a sleeve happening. Might even finish it in 2021. Who knows? Let's see. So that's about it for what I've been actually made some stitches on this week. I don't feel like it's a whole lot to show, but come on, it's only a week and we got other things to do too, right? I got a 4-year-old and a 5-month-old and a partner, so plenty to do. I'm looking forward to getting back to work though and have, you know, other things to occupy my mind, but that will be in a couple of months' time, and I will still be able to film this podcast, I think, because I'm only going back 50%, so it's going to be like a slow segue into it. So doing a reduced hours until like November before I go back 100%. And this week I did get something in the mail. Not yarn. I am waiting for yarn. Remember the basic cardigan cast on thing that I'm debating? I figured I needed some different yarn for that. I couldn't find any in my stash that was enough quantity because I want like a coat length thing. So I ordered a cone of the wool silk blend of Holst Garn in like a dark grey, which I think will be nice. Hopefully it'll be arriving sometime early next week and I will have a swatch to show you if I am so inclined. But what I have arrived is this lovely magazine, The Sewing Box, which is a Spanish magazine, which, you know, it's called The Sewing Box. You'd think it's maybe had an English, but no. I think they are out of Madrid. But anyways, it's basically a collection of different patterns in both knit, crochet, amigurumi. It's got embroidery, lots of things. So yeah, I've only had it for a little while. I didn't go through all the patterns yet, but like they're so cute. So they take one like a designer and they do like a little introduction piece on them. And they show a bit their work, like look at those amazing designs that she does. And then they include one pattern from them. So there's a pattern there for a little knitted bunny, which looks amazing. And it's in this nice print paper. I was like, don't miss this pattern. And wow, the instructions are really detailed and nice. Oh, the rabbit, it looks a bit like a skinned rabbit, to be honest. I'm like, oh, but you're not gonna, you didn't skin it, you're gonna stuff it with stuff. So, but you end up with these cute little rabbits. But yeah, this is a wonderful thing about speaking several languages. You get this. You get access to much more information and publications and just in general. I do think these patterns would be available in English as well, though, because some of these, they're not all Spanish-speaking designers. They are like this is knitting for olive pattern. Here there's a t-shirt, and yeah, let's see if I find something that looks interesting. There's some t-shirts, hats, a cowl, and oh, the crochet. See here, in Spain I feel like crochet is way more popular. Not sure why, but there's a lot more like garment making and such in so like, oh, that's that's cute pattern for t-shirt here. I don't think you would need very much yarn for that. I do have like these cotton and linen mixes of yarn that I don't enjoy knitting with, but they're like lingering in my stash, so maybe a crochet t-shirt would be just the thing for that. You know. Ooh, cool. Wow. Okay, you guys don't need to see me just reading a magazine, right? But some cool things here. I just wanted to give it a shout out. So if you do speak Spanish, you should check this out. Look how cute. There's a Macrame pattern in there. And yeah, and you might say, hey, Celia, what about Walt? Like, you promised us Walt would be finished next time. And yes, he's still missing his head. I lost that game of yarn chicken, so I have ordered another ball of green yarn. And I'm waiting for that to arrive. So there's a few things. So the yarn for swatching a cardigan and the yarn for completing Walt. Poor thing. I guess I could start on the arms, but as I said, the whole crochet thing, I need to be a bit more careful. But I have so many plans for it. Wow, there's a lot of amigurumi here. And there's cute little instructions on how to do like a little like quilted house with embroidery on top. That's pretty cute. And there's like the schematic to do that. Cross stitch pattern. Oh, there's a bit of tapis. Oh, that's oh, what's that called? The knotting. Macrame. So there's a macrame as well. Instructions on how to do that. Very cool. Very like it's including a lot of crafts though, and there's oh, and there is a feature 1, 2, 3, some features illustrators in the back, and a little bit about them, and a whole page of their work. I guess you could take out and frame it if you like. Cool. So the sewing box mag, I'm gonna probably pick something out of that and do at some point. It's just, you know, lovely to have some patterns. Look at this cute little bunny, amigurumi bunny. He's very cute. I have now made a long list on all of the creatures, or a list of the kids that I need to make creatures for at some point. And I kind of know what I want to make for them as well. So when Walt is done, I don't feel like making another monster from that book just yet. I want to make something with a higher cuteness factor. And I have 2 dear friends that are currently expecting baby girls. So I'm gonna do that. Now I have all boys. Myself, I need to make cute girly things for other people. So I have this book, which my son Emil, I was like, do you want to pick a a cuddly toy from this book. He was like, no, monsters, no, I want dinosaurs. I'm like, okay, sure. So, sweet Crochet Friends, apparently not a 5, he's turning 5-year-old boy's thing, right? I'm sure he would love it if I made one and just gave it to him, but anyways. Oh, I got rudely interrupted by a camera telling me the card was full. I had forgotten to delete last week's episodes of the memory card before I started recording. So I don't know exactly where I got cut off, but yeah, I was talking about Willis the goat, I think, which I will do next time. Oh, the bunny is cute though. The bunny, she's very cute. Vivi the bunny or Willis the goat, maybe. Because the goat, she's very cute. And I mean, I don't think I would do her white. I don't know very many white goats. I would do her a bit more rugged, like a little scruffy. Goats are cheeky little bastards. So, some cuteness will have to happen. Oh, the little sheep, she's the little lamb, she's cute as well. Well, they're all cute, aren't they? They're cute crochet things. But yeah, so let's see, shall we? What happens between now and next week? Who knows? And yeah, I think that about sums it up for today. As always, I have no idea how long I've talked for. And I hope you guys had some fun looking at the stuff I'm doing. And hopefully you'll come back next week and watch it again. If you liked it, click like. You know, pounce that subscribe button and share with your friends. And yeah, not much to say. Have a good week. Have a good weekend, and I hope to see you next time. I'm so excited that some people are finding me, and it's really cool to yeah, not feel like I'm talking to a wall or a camera lens. So thank you. Bye.